All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Alfred Collins had a shoulder. He returned. Chris McCaffrey with a stinger. Came back for a little bit, but we ended up taking him out. Jake Tonjes had a foot, didn't return. D. Winters got evaluated for concussion, got cleared.
What do you tell your team after this game and after the season that you've had?
We were real disappointed with today. We obviously didn't have it today. Credit to them. Try not to harp on that. I try to, we can discuss some of that stuff on Monday when we get back together. But I just thanked them for the whole season, how much they battled through everything. I know everyone in there was sick about tonight and the way that went in every facet. But I try not to make it about tonight when I was in there with them. Just kind of thanked them for what they've done all year, and been extremely, extremely proud of everyone in that room throughout this year.
Kyle, you had on the first drive, on your first drive, there was your fourth down. It looked like you had conversion. They blew it dead for a timeout. What was the explanation there? Did they say they just got the timeout in, and what was your kind of response?
Yeah, I was upset with it. We were able to run the play, but when it's noisy, I can't totally fault them for that. I don't know exactly how it happened. I didn't know that there was a timeout called, so I saw the play, and so did they, obviously. But sometimes when a coach calls a timeout, you can't get it all the way to the main guy, so it is what it is.
You seem to have some harsh words for Bernardo, or some intense dialogue there. Could you give us any background on what was going on?
Yeah, nothing in particular. Just coaching him on a certain play, a certain technique, and just coaching aggressively.
The long game after.
You
mentioned him briefly there. Was that related to a play that?
Yeah, we called him over to try to talk to him about a certain coverage, and then we got him right back in.
It's a long game, obviously, but that kickoff return was that almost exactly what you cannot have happen. And did you feel like you were digging, climbing out of the ball after that?
Not totally. If they score on the opening drive, it's the same issue too, So, it sucks when it's the first play and how that gets the stadium going and everything like that. But I thought we weathered that storm to a degree, It'd be nice to go down and answer right away. We got stopped on 3rd and 1 and stopped on 4th and 1. Then the next drive, we got the ball, we fumbled. So we gave them 2 scores like that and got down to a 17-0 deficit, which was tough and not at all what we wanted. I thought we weathered the storm when we made it 17-6. Was really hoping to go into the half at halftime with that score and would have felt pretty good about it based off how things went. I thought them converting that 3rd down on that last drive, they got the one on the penalty, I believe, if I'm remembering right, that allowed them to convert it. And on them scoring at the end of the second quarter, I thought was a huge deal in that game. That made us to where we had to answer on the first drive coming out, and we got stopped on 4th and 1 on that first drive coming out. And really after that, then the game was out of hand.
Your offense performed really well most of the season. Why do you feel it struggled so much the past 2 games against Seattle?
Because they got a really good defense. They got a real good defense. I liked how we came to play in that first half a lot more. I thought we were much more ready. I thought we were moving the ball. But when you get stopped on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, nothing counts for it. And then the next time up, we had a turnover with the fumble. And then when we got stopped on downs in the beginning of the 3rd quarter, then it was out of hand. And then we got away from the run, trying to get back into it. And that team doesn't give up big plays. That's why they're number 1 in the league over the last 2 years and not giving up big plays. And when you get down a lot, and it's going to be tough to get back if you can't generate those big plays.
How do you think Brock played? I think they only had a couple sacks, but he was running for his life a lot.
I thought, no one played perfect. No one played great today. No one coached great today. They got us pretty good. So, but I thought Brock made a number of plays out there. But on the second half, it got away from all of us.
Obviously, this is fresh right now, but how do you process, the resilience you guys showed to get this far with all the stuff you had to deal with during the season and the way it ends tonight?
I'll process that over the next. I'm going to process that a lot tonight. I'll do it a lot tomorrow. I'll do that over the next month. You think about the season always throughout the off season. Tonight it's a little hard. I tried to articulate that to the guys so we didn't get caught up so much tonight. Like I said earlier, I'm very proud of a lot of guys in there, and we're extremely disappointed right now. But that doesn't take away for how I feel about the guys in there.
I know he didn't play, but Fred Warner wanted to play, and you had to kind of keep him at bay with it. He was in the box, came down at some point in the game to kind of get the team together. What can you just say about what he was able to kind of do out there to kind of help the defense to push through? Because they had a few plays where they were stopping the Seahawks offense quite a bit.
Fred was awesome in how he tried to come back and get ready to play for next week. But, nothing matters with guys coming on the sidelines.
Well, this loss is historic in terms of 49er playoff losses. Just wondering, to have a season end like this, do you just kind of flush it? Or do you think that the imbalance of this loss is going to linger?
No, it's a loss. It's very understandable to see how it got away. We'll do that from a football standpoint, and you evaluate that throughout the offseason. But it was a tough playoff loss, but definitely don't make more of it than what it was. It was a loss.
The third and one and the fourth and one that you got stopped on, you've had a lot of success with Purdy sneaking there. What, just not like the look on either of those, or what kind of was behind the play calls there?
Yeah, if the sneak was there, we would have done it. They take away the sneak. So we sneak it when it's there, and they played all the sneak. They took up all the gaps on the inside on the plays, and we liked the pass. And then on the fourth down, we thought we could get to the edge because they're all inside playing the gaps to take away the sneak. So we thought we could leave one on the edge to option, and we missed that. And there was two on the edge, which made it a problem to option them.
There's another question that you're going to have to think about some, but what you accomplished this season with all the injuries, the young players playing, does it lead you to believe what's possible next season? You start thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, I always will think about what's possible and stuff, and but I mean, it's definitely the last thing I've thought about. I haven't thought about that at all recently, and haven't thought about it all up to this moment. But a lot of guys got to play this year that haven't played in the past, and that should help us for the future. But we'll come in Monday, and we'll deal with all this stuff, put this game to bed, and deal with all the players, and then we'll very quickly start on our off-season plan and how to build this team the best way possible to give us a shot next year.
With Sam coming in with the oblique strain and not going through warm-ups, did you guys feel that you wanted to attack him? And is that pressure just hasn't been there throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, I know Sam with having the oblique stuff, but warm-ups are like that, but it takes a while for the Toradol to kick in, so we knew he'd be fine once kickoff came, which that doesn't really have to do with pressure and stuff. That sometimes can affect how they throw, but usually when that Toradol kicks in, it doesn't. So Sam played really well today, but it was also just with the turnovers, the special teams touchdown, us getting stopped on 4th and 1 twice, which is the same as a turnover. That would actually, I think, be 5 if you count those. And it was a whole team deal.
What can you say about Christian and his ability to stay upright through historic amount of touches? I'm sure there's stuff he battled through the season with here.
I think this was one of the most impressive seasons by an individual player ever, just in terms of what a warrior and man he is week in and week out. Like people to do that every week and to do it for 17 weeks in a row, not getting a bye week till December, and then to do it these last 2 games. Like Christian finds a way every week. He commits himself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to get his body possible to go out there and compete. And I've never been around anything like that. The dude was unbelievable, his dedication to really empty the tank every single game. And to be able to do that many games in a row is something that I've never really seen before.
Kyle, there's a distinct possibility you may lose both coordinators. What can you say about Sala and Kubiak and the job that they did this year for you?
They've been unbelievable. I love both those guys. They're 2 as good of coaches as I've been around, and I know both of them will be head coaches, whether it's in a week or so or whether it's over the next few years. But we're lucky to have those guys, and for our sake, I hope that we'll still have them next year.
Would you let Kubiak go if it was a lateral move, if he had a play calling role as an offensive coordinator?
No. He calls a lot of plays here, so he's our offense coordinator. So I don't know why we'd let him be someone else's offense coordinator.
Brock, what was your perspective on a tough game for you guys?
Yeah, man. Obviously a good team, but I feel like we just sort of similar as the last game in terms of you need to capitalize on third downs and some of those 4th and shorts. That's what comes to mind first. And then, once we get down to the red zone, still finding a way to score touchdowns. And the field goals were great, yes, but I don't know. I just feel like, those turnover on downs were, spotting them good field position. Just feel like that was the theme of the game. Yeah.
Kyle said he was sort of telling you guys don't feel so down. Obviously, it hurts to lose this game, but he was proud of what happened. Can you get there at this moment? Understand what this team kind of overcame?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're fresh out of a game, and our goal was obviously to come in here, win, and go to the NFC Championship game, and go from there. But obviously when it just got taken away from us and Kyle's talking to us just about the year, and you reflect a little bit, it does feel good just in terms of, being reminded of like guys stepping up and the resiliency. Like the character and the heart of this team was unlike anything I've ever been a part of. And so I know a lot of guys were saying that. Kyle said it. Trent Williams, like everyone feels it, like the heart, man. And so for us, it does excite us in terms of, we're going to regroup and get guys healthy and get back after it. And so we are excited for the future, but obviously right now it just sucks because the loss is fresh in our mouth.
This offense is, where it's humming, its rhythm and timing. And today, there was so much of you running around, kind of playground, type of stuff. Is that just a testament to their pressure and what they can do to kind of get you guys out of, what you do best?
Yeah. It's no secret in terms of, their style of play. It's, try to make the quarterback check it down and play deep to short. And then within that, have a good pass rush. And, that's a good defense, man. Like, just a smart way to play, and then bring some pressures and stuff also and try to make them mess up. So they did a good job with that. I do think there were still some ops for us to stay on the field and grit it out. Those are kind of the wins that we've done in the past too. But, tonight just wasn't our night with that. So, it's a tip the cap to them though.
They have a good defense. Obviously, you have a good offense, but the last few times you've faced them, you haven't scored that many points. Why do you feel like they have your number right now, your offense?
Probably just what I just said, just in terms of, you really do have to play smart football, check the ball down and stay on the field on third downs. They're a kind of defense that they're not going to give up the big shot plays or when you have one-on-one matchups, and you capitalize, you get all the yards off it. Like they're going to play soft zone and make you go through your read, check it down, and a gain of 6-7 yards and play that really the whole game. And so, they've done a good job with that. And I think, for all of us, like including myself, we got to understand that when we're going against these guys, and that's why it's crucial to, capitalize on third downs and stay on the field.
You look pretty frustrated after the interception. I know you don't want to maybe single out a teammate, but were you a little upset about just the way that happened?
Yeah, we're off schedule, and at that point, I'm just trying to figure out which way Luke was going to go, and honestly, I shouldn't have thrown it. So that's not on him. He got put in a tough situation. If anything, throw the ball away, live to see another down. It's on me.
Did it seem like sometimes tonight and in the whole season, basically, that you would go in games with or wind up with no receivers, either receivers gone or injured or compromised?
Sorry, what was your question?
Very few healthy receivers a lot of times.
Yeah, but I think, guys have done such a good job of stepping up, so I don't want to use that as an excuse at all. We got a really good receiver core, I think. DeMarcus Robinson's jumped up, Sky Moore's, we got thrown him into the fire, and JJ's a baller. Ricky's fighting his things, but when he's out there, he's doing great. So, I don't want to use that at all as an excuse.
You mentioned what's possible. You mentioned the future. Like, is this a team capable of winning the Super Bowl next season?
100%. Yeah.
This obviously was a rough year for you with the toe, but after you came back in week 11, you had great numbers. Is it safe to say that the toe you're beyond that, or are you still experiencing pain with the toe after you came back?
Yeah, no, I'm in a good spot with that. For me to go out and play the way I need to play, obviously the way I can run around, scramble and things, I don't think about, obviously I'm doing my rehab and stuff with it still, and I will in the off season, but I feel really good with that, so I'm good.
Why are you so confident this team can win a Super Bowl next season, given how the season ended?
I really do believe that, we have the right guys, man. Obviously it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I really do think that with some guys getting healthy and what we stand for and how we always bounce back, I feel like our backs were against the wall really all season with guys going down, but we always found a way. And so I think once we're, 100% and feel good about ourselves and learn, then we'll be just fine. So. Yeah.
Sorry, your first drop back, DeMarcus Lawrence smashed you pretty good. Your last drop back, you got you again. How big of a handful is he? And how can you kind of wreck a game plan? But
no, yeah, really good player, obviously. Same with 99 Williams. Like they got a good front. So across the board, like they got guys that are gonna not make it easy. And if one guy doesn't win, then the other guy might. So like it's a good defensive front. It's a good scheme that they have behind them as well. So just across the board, man, they got good playmakers and it's a good defense.
Kyle said he obviously knows you're all hurt and everybody's hurt, but he was trying to make it. There were positives because what was achieved this season, given everything else that happened. Can you get there? Can you start to feel that right now, or is it still just a loss?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's such a weird, emotional roller coaster you go through. Everything you've gone through with this team for what it feels like, 25 weeks in a row. And then to just end it, I think it takes time to process everything because it just comes to an end. What I will say is this is, in all my years playing, one of the proudest I've ever been to be a part of a team. And it's this team. I love everybody in that locker room.
Kristen, given all the stuff you guys had to go through, the injuries and whatnot, I know it's probably his first time and everything, but how do you process just the fact that you've got this far, with the amount of guys you were to replace stars?
Yeah, I think you process it with time. Obviously it wasn't our day, man. I mean, we didn't play good enough to win. And, obviously that stings and that hurts right now. But I think with time, you learn to appreciate everything that happened this season and all the people that made it happen. And again, I feel very fortunate to be a part of this football team.
Chris, you guys have been banging heads since July. How much time do you give yourself away from training before you get back into your off-season grind?
I don't know, man. Probably a couple weeks, and I haven't thought about that yet.
When did the stinger occur?
Pretty, a couple early, and then just kind of kept getting worse, and to check out what it is. But gave it everything I had, and just wasn't working.
You were out on the second snap. I mean, did it happen that early? Like
No.
The first play?
No.
Kyle said that your season this year is one of the single most impressive individual performances he's seen just in the workload that you took on. How much did this season mean for you to come back from what you did and be able to play a whole season and do what you were able to?
Yeah, I think I'll again, just once takes time to process this stuff. This was one of the hardest years of my life, and everything that happened to me last year, and kind of had to overcome a lot of odds. And from the time January 1st happened, I was rehabbing and working my butt off every single day. My wife went through it. There was not a lot of time off. And so, again, I think it's obviously we're not proud of the way it ended, but when I look back at all the people that helped me out and the people that were with me every step of the way and believed in me when a lot of people didn't, I appreciate that. And just really grateful for my family, my friends, and everybody in that locker room. But again, it's just hard to process everything right now. Right now, it just sucks to lose, but go hang out with those guys and on the plane and process it how we will.
Christian, can you just share how challenging it was for you physically to be ready to play week to week? Because I know in the beginning of the season, a lot of us were wondering, are you going to be ready for game one? And here you are at the end of the season, stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, every year, every week presents different challenges, some harder than others. But at the end of the day, man, we're all going through stuff. Everybody in there's fighting. Having 3 short weeks in the last 4 weeks has not been easy. But, we got a group of grinders who will go out there and fight whenever.
How proud are you of the young members of this team that weren't necessarily ready to start at the beginning of the season?
Really proud of them. Really proud of them and excited to watch them in the future because, there's extreme upside to get that experience as a young player, and this team is extremely valuable. So proud of every single one of them and, love them.
Mentioned that you were telling the team, or maybe a lot of people, just how proud you were of this team, the fight. Was that to the whole team? Or?
Yeah, well, everybody's in the locker room.
You can maybe just speak about that. Like, was this season special to you?
Yeah, it was extremely special to me just because I've never been a part of a program, part of a team that so behind the 8 ball, but just found a way to compete every week. We went up against so many rosters that was fully loaded while we were playing with guys that we got, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, some guys signed at the beginning of the season, some guys signed in the middle of the season. So the fact that we were able to get to this part of the season, divisional round and the playoffs, and give ourselves a chance to get in the NFC Championship, and we're extremely shorthanded. So I'm just proud of this team, man. Like Christian just said, we had a lot of young guys that contributed a lot to our success, and they have really, really bright futures. So I'm super proud of this team. Obviously, it didn't go the way we wanted to, but the future is really bright.
After getting this far. Say about what Kyle did this year?
Coach of the year in my opinion. And not y'all see what he does on game days, but what he does during the week, the message he conveys to the team every week, the way we prepare, the way he has guys bought in to just give them their all, no matter what the scoreboard look like, no matter what, guys just playing their butts off. So a lot of that goes towards Kyle because he's obviously the leader of this team, but it all starts and stops with him, and he definitely does a great job getting us started.
Trent, you've seen a lot of defenses in your career. Did the Seahawks and the way their style, the way they play, what they do, remind you of other great defenses in the NFL?
No. We played some great defenses throughout the year. So no, I don't think. What D'Amico's doing down in Houston is pretty impressive. So, hats off to Seattle. It's a good defense. They play two-shell. They just make you have to just dink and dunk down the field. And keep everything in front of them. It's a good game plan.
Trent, after all the things you guys did to this first year to get to this point, referring to, what did it feel like tonight as it was kind of crashing down? It almost seemed like you couldn't hold the fort anymore collectively as a group. What was that? What did it feel like?
No, I just feel like you're losing the game. We gotta, obviously we went down early. To me, I think that's the biggest thing. You get a kickoff return touchdown. It's hard to win when you give up turnovers and special team touchdowns, and we did both. So it's no surprise why the game ended how it ended. Not in my opinion. Obviously, we wanted more out of this. It just wasn't our night tonight. You got to be honest with yourself. And we got, like I said before, we got a lot of kids on this team that contributed a lot this year, and we're going to be looking forward to them contributing, in the future. And I think a lot of them will be household names here pretty soon. So, I'm super excited for what we have in this group, the future that we have. And, obviously tonight sucks, but it's not the end for us.
Trent, on that same note, before the season, you said you weren't really sure what this team was going to be. You
Right.
didn't know. What did this team become, and where do you think it can go?
It became a resilient bunch. We're the final four teams, on this side of the bracket. So I think that speaks for itself, being able to go in and knock off the, defending world champs at their home. Another tough game versus another great defense. And, we made the plays. And tonight we just didn't make the plays. So it's nothing to hang your head over. Obviously nobody thought we would even be here, let alone thought we would win this game. So, at the end of the day, we're playing with house's money when you get to this point. You're playing with who we played with.
I know you don't like Super Bowl window talk and all that, but does it feel more reachable where you stand right now than maybe you would have thought at the beginning of the season?
I never thought it was out of reach, honestly. But, yeah, once the injuries start happening, I'm going to take that back. It does seem pretty the hopes seem pretty grim. But, as we continue to play and then I started to learn this team and we all started to learn each other, and you start to realize, like, hey, we have a real shot. Obviously, in my opinion, there was no team that was just clear-cut number one throughout the whole season. So I just think it was wide open. And, I think a lot of people thought like me, and that's why, a lot of people tried to fight, until they couldn't fight anymore.
What's it going to take to break? When I talk to the young guys, a lot of them kind of mention they look up to you and just all you've done and how you carried yourself through the NFL all these years. Obviously, you said you're impressed by him, but what impresses you the most, especially with this rookie class, with what they've been able to do this season?
Just because they have huge roles, right? You know, you look at guys like Stout. I mean, you look at guys like Siegel. You look at AC, Aaron Collins. You look at DJ. I mean, obviously, even Michael played. I mean, he was a starter before he went down. You get on the offensive side of the ball. You know, we had Connor Colby in there playing early. He did a lot for us. You know, so those guys with their expanded role, they did great. And obviously, we won 13 games. So I think that's you know, kind of tells it all right there. But they just give you a lot of hope, man. They came in, they bought into the culture, and they, you know, the way they play, the way they approach every day, just, you know, we're lucky to have a rookie class that can contribute like they did.
What's it going to take to break through against the Seahawks defense? You got to face them twice every year, and it seems like they have your number right now.
I mean, we ain't got, you know, we down to all the best tight end in the world, right? You know, it's a lot of things that we're up against, not just Seattle. So, I mean, yeah, we split the game. They won one. I mean, you know, during the season, we came down here with a healthy team and we won. I think that's what we can be. Obviously, when you're playing with guys that you signing out practice squads, guys that's, you know, you taking off the street. I mean, you got to temper your expectations a little bit, you know. So.
You'll be 38 next year. I know that's not news to you. But I believe you've already stated, maybe after the Colts game, there's no question about your future here coming back. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
How's it feel?
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah, it sucks. They did a good job, though. Shout out to them. Good team. And, you know, we fought. We battled. Just tough.
How tough is that defense?
No, they're good. They're good. They got a good shot. They got a good shot at winning it all. You could tell they're playing well. They have number one seed. They're number one seed for a reason. So they did a good job. They're a sound team overall.
Did they seem different from what you saw a few weeks ago?
They seem a little different. A couple different personnel they ran and stuff like that. So they had a good game plan. Did a good job. But they just play harder. You know, they were the better team today. It wasn't our day. And so just shout out to them.
Did you feel like a gut punch from the opening kickoff, but then take it back quickly?
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, you never want to start the game like that. So it's just tough on the overall team. It's tough on special teams for sure. You know, we take it on the chin, but adversity is good. I felt like we responded to the adversity well. The game was, 17-3 or 6 for a good while. So it wasn't nothing crazy. It just kind of got out of hand with turnovers. We're not giving ourselves a shot to stay in the game with turnovers and things like that.
Big picture, how will you look at this season? You didn't start here. You came in and made an immediate impact. And, I mean, you guys have overcome a lot.
Yeah. No, I just love John and Kyle. Give me an opportunity. I always think about it. You know, I started here and come back and just, you know, be plug and play was awesome for me. So I'm thankful. Just the environment, being around Brock, the ultimate competitor, being around a lot of the guys. It's a natural energy in here, so it was easy. So I'm just thankful for that.
Obviously a tough one, but I mean, with all the adversity you faced this season, it's something to be proud of as well, I guess.
Yeah, something to be proud of. We talked about it after the game, like with all the injuries and everything that happened, losing a lot of star talent on the team. To be able to do what we did last week in Philly and come today, obviously the result was not good, but we fought as a team, and I'm very proud of how we fought.
What was Shanahan's message to you guys after the game?
What I just pretty much said.
How was Brock in the huddle after a lot of adversity he faced, trying to get guys open?
Yeah, I mean, every time someone asks me that, the answer never changes. He's always the same. He never wavers. Just make sure we're on check. He operates the huddle very good.
How hard was it to play from behind today?
It's always hard. You know, I think once it got down to like 30, it's just like, man, it's really tough. But, you know, it's the attitude we have in the organization, just go out there and keep fighting. And that was the message on the sideline for the offense. We don't care what the score is, just go out there and give it all, finish every play.
Dom, how would you describe the atmosphere just after the opening kick? Did it feel like a gut punch right off the top?
Yeah, but I was on the sideline just like Chicago. I mean, we started down 6 points, 7 points. Offense goes on the field. The only difference is we get ball half. That's really how I thought about it. I didn't think it was like crazy, but yeah.
Do you think, I know it's soon, but do you think there will be a lot of what ifs about this season with the injuries that you guys had to deal with, and even Christian having to come out tonight?
Yeah, I mean, any team with a lot of star talent, like, a lot of guys get hurt, there's always a what if, but if you can't play that game, you'll just keep going in circles the rest of your life. It is what it is. We made it to the second round, we lost. Just got to bounce back next year.
In that same light, how encouraging is it that you guys did get this far with all those guys you've seen?
It's a good sign. We had a lot of young guys step up. I think back to our rookie class last year, just having to play a lot. The rookies this year and our class in the same light just got a lot of reps. And you combine that with the guys that are coming back next year, the vets, the star players, it could be a dangerous team.
You just feel like you couldn't get momentum going. It seemed like you needed a little spark or something.
Yeah. It's just one of those days. It's just one of weren't just couldn't get a spark.
With the way this game went, the final score, what it is Seattle a team you immediately circle for next year is one you want to get back?
Yeah, any divisional opponent. It's not just Seattle. Seattle, LA, Arizona, just don't really like those teams. So we're gonna circle all of them.
What looked different about their offense tonight as opposed to 2 weeks ago?
They ran the ball, the same plays. Saw most of the same plays, outside zone, stuff like that, bounce plays. Nothing really different. We just didn't, we weren't ready to play today, and we didn't come out do what we need to do.
Where do you think that was?
Not sure. I'll tell you. It just wasn't our day.
They had a rest advantage that you guys didn't have. Was that part of it?
You can't use that as an excuse. You got to go out there and play ball when it's time. When your number's called, you got to go out there and do it. Rest or not, short weeks or not, it doesn't really matter.
Were there reports about Sam Darnold this morning? Did that impact you guys at all? Did you pay attention to it?
I didn't even know about it. I didn't really care about it either. Hurt or not, we still got to go out there and ball, no matter who's playing. So we didn't focus on that. Nobody even brought it up in the D-line room. So.
I know you said it was a loss, and it's hard to kind of focus on anything outside of that, but many would say that the injuries and the resilience you guys had to fight through that would, create a culture in this locker room, especially for the young guys that maybe you guys didn't know actually existed in the 49ers. How much did it teach you guys through this run?
It taught us a lot. Coming into this program, seeing all the injuries happen with Nick and then Fred going down and, Brock going down the season, and the resiliency that the team had just kind of showed that, regardless of what happens, we're going to go out there and play our hardest. And, seeing those games, it just shows, what we have in this locker room, and our standard is very high in this locker room, regardless of who's out there playing, who's out there balling. It's just to go out there and do it.
What was it like to have Fred back on the sidelines tonight?
Yeah, he's a great energy. You guys all know Fred. You see him. He just brings great energy to the team. He charges us up, gets us ready to go. And it's awesome having him around us.
What stands out about this team when you think back of the memories? I know it's immediate, but just what are you going to think of about this squad?
All you can think of is how we fought, regardless of the adversity that we've been through. We just fought really, really hard. Nobody expected us to be here. So, I'm saying? We don't have any reason, to hang our heads low, hang our heads high, keep our chins up. So nobody expected us to be here. And we doubted, we proved everybody wrong, regardless of the stuff we went through.
There's a chance Salah might get a head coaching job. Did he have a chance to address the defensive unit after the game? Talk to you guys?
No, we haven't got a chance to talk with him yet. But, it's a league. If that happens, that happens. If he gets a head coaching job, shout out to him. He deserves it. He's an awesome coach. He's an amazing coach. But it's a league, so.
How the adversity you guys face this season, how do you sum up how did you start the year?
Yeah, I think I'm just honestly just so proud of all the guys in this locker room, man, and so thankful to be in a group of guys like this, having a bunch of good vets, good coaches, and being in a good organization, man. It really shows, top and bottom, everybody just being, bought in, solid, and I'm just really proud of everybody for just continuing to work and continuing to battle when you do face adversity like that. So.
Ricky, have something positive to kind of move forward and turn the page for next year?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, there's a lot of positives, obviously make sure we want to keep everybody healthy, and, the good part is that we get to build on this, and having a successful season like this, with all the injuries and going into the offseason knowing that, we can do this thing, with this group of guys, so it definitely gives us hope and confidence going into the offseason.
How good is that defensively?
We're really solid defense, they're very sound, and, hats off to them, they're holding us to 6 points tonight, and, I got respect to them, and they're solid defense over there.
Is this a season where you play the what-if game?
What do you mean by that?
Like, what if George was out there? What if Fred was out there? What if my knee stayed healthy?
Yeah, you can do that all you want. At the end of the day, I don't try to live my life like that just because, you're driving yourself nuts at the end of the day, I just try to take it what it is, be where my feet are at and what the facts are, and the facts are George was out, Fred was out. You guys know the whole deal, but we were winning games regardless. So I feel like going into this game, we had all that confidence in the world, so we just didn't get it done.
Ricky, what was the atmosphere like out there?
Yeah, they've had a really good atmosphere. That was one of the loudest games I've probably been in, but I'm used to the loud, SEC ball. So, but yeah, no, they definitely put on a good scene for sure. Yeah, it's tough, when you start a game like that, and then you have 2 turnovers. Yeah, it's tough to get back on your feet, man, and to continue to go on drives and score points. But honestly, in my opinion, I felt like our offense was doing a pretty good job of moving the ball down. We were just killing ourselves, and whether that was the turnovers or some miscommunication or whatever it was going on, that was going on our drives. I felt like there was nothing that that they were doing, I guess, that was stopping us from driving down. We just shot ourselves in the foot.
That sucked. Obviously, we expected to have a better performance today, but today wasn't our day.
How do you reconcile the result with the total season that you guys had?
Yeah, I mean that's the great question after at the end of a season like this when you lose in the playoffs. You're in that weird area of balancing appreciation for the year that we did have, and obviously the huge disappointment of losing the game that we just had today. So it's a balance. You definitely, you got to feel that pain a little bit. That sucked. But then, when I get on that plane, I'm gonna let my guys know how much I appreciate it.
What went wrong today, Kyle? Do you think offensively?
I don't know.
Or are they just that good?
They're okay. Yeah, I just we didn't play well. We dug ourselves a hole. It's a lot of bad situational football. Not converting on 4th down. Them getting that kickoff return to start the game definitely doesn't help. But we just didn't play well. We gotta finish in the end zone as an offense. We know that. We have all the capability to do that. We knew field goals weren't going to win this game.
Did they feel any different as an opponent than they were a couple weeks ago?
No, honestly, I felt like that, they're a good defense, but I don't feel like they felt that different than 2 weeks ago.
End of the year is always a time to reflect. For a veteran player, maybe even more so. What will you reflect on as you think ahead? Can you start thinking about 2026 yet?
I mean, it's hard to, but there's such bright days ahead for this team, and I think everybody sees that. It really was. It was a special season. It was one of my most enjoyable seasons that I've had. It's just a really special group, a group that is willing to work every single day, put it on the line for one another, and I think so many young guys and new guys got a lot of really, really valuable experience at the same time winning games, which, I mean, that's the best you could ask for, and I think we have a lot of really, really good talent that's going to be coming back next year, and I expect us to be a very formidable team.
So big picture hurts, but then you might reflect positively on this when it's all said and done, even though you didn't get to your final goal.
Yeah, of course. Right now, we were a couple hours ago, we were one of 8 teams left in the NFL, and when you're in that position, your goal is to win a Super Bowl, and we didn't accomplish that goal, but I think any of us going back to the off season, beginning of the year, would say that we did accomplish a lot of goals.
You say that it's a special season because of the grit, the resolve that you guys showed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just been a fun year for me. It's just been a fun group to go to battle with, to go to work with every day. Everyone's had such a positive attitude, no matter the circumstances, and it's just fun to play with other guys that will put absolutely everything on the line, because that gives you confidence to do so yourself, because your brothers have your back.
Well, the broadcast had said that you started up in the box and then kind of came down. What kind of led to that decision to come down?
Yeah, it was I was back and forth on it pregame if I wanted to watch from the top or be on the field, and I think they wanted me to be in the box to try to stay off my feet to ultimately, for if we won, to give myself an opportunity to work into next week. But as soon as that first quarter happened, I said there was no way I was going to not be on the field to help.
To what extent can you be a player coach when you are on the sideline?
I just try to help where I can. That's it.
How much does that one hurt?
Yeah, that definitely hurts. I feel like more so it has us to, make sure that we have a lot to learn from a game like this. Yeah, it stings, but I think it just gives us more fuel for next year. You just see the passion and the fight that we got in this locker room, and I'm blessed to be a part of it. So, yeah, this is something I'll never forget in my career, and I know I can speak for other fellow teammates as well, and come back for the vengeance for sure.
The way this one happened, is there an urgency to be able to play this team again next season?
Always. Yeah, definitely, especially just division rival, how they are, the history behind it. I mean, it's not a lot to be said. I think everyone understands that. So, yeah, just can't wait for the opportunity, and we're going to have to wait a little longer, but I know guys will be ready for it when the time comes.
Do you notice anything different between this game and the Week 18 matchup?
I think just maybe execution. They made their plays and we didn't make ours. The better team won today, and that's as a man, you just gotta know when you take defeat, but just make sure when the opportunity comes again, just be ready for it. So give credit to them, but knowing that a lot of things that we can do on our end to be better. Yeah, that's really it with that.
To that point, did it feel like a lot of things that happened tonight were kind of self-inflicted?
Yeah, self-inflicted wounds, and then when you're playing playoff football, they're going to capitalize, and that's what you're going to see. That's what happened tonight. So they had the momentum, they were rolling, and you gotta give credit where it's due. You gotta be able to give respect when respect is earned. So credit to them, but I know with the guys in this locker room, there's another step we can take, and I know the guys are going to take those necessary precautions to make sure we never have this situation happen again.
How do you look at and assess the season overall? How do you look at it and assess the season overall as a whole?
I'm proud of our guys, especially me coming in later in the year, being able to kind of just get thrown in right there with them, and I just wanted to. I was eager to get on the field with those guys because you could just see the fight that our team had. You could see the resilience. You could see new guys that came in, rookies that came in that were bought in, and it's a special group that I was able to be a part of this year. Yeah, it's just difficult because you're not able to keep this thing going with them anymore. But I know I'm just grateful for the organization. I'm grateful for the guys I shared the field with this year. Grateful for the staff that even helped me get back on the field. I'm just grateful for a lot of things, and this season definitely wasn't a disappointment. Just another learning curve.
Ricky said that this was one of the loudest environments he's played in. I know it's different on your side of the ball, but do you agree with him there?
Yeah, it was loud.
The opening kickoff, did that feel like a shell shock or a gut punch off the top?
Next play.